Welcome to Reverent and Rebellious, a safe space for faith-based conversations on the things that nobody seems to want to talk about these days. We are reverent, we value truth, we elevate scripture, but we are also rebellious. We shatter myths and we destroy dogma, so jump in. Join us, Logan, Pat, and me, the brother Peter, as we get reverent and we get rebellious.
What's up, everybody?
Peter made it back safe.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, some folks might have been wondering where you guys been. Peter's been a little AWOL on us.
I have. I had to make an emergency trip to Seattle to visit my ailing father, who is he's doing okay. We thought that he was going bye here.
Yeah.
But
Peter walked in, he was bowling at a bowling alley.
yeah.
What I was telling Logan off air is Peter jumped in there and said, "All right, Dad, let's do this." And Peter started hitting push-ups, and his dad was like, "All right, let's do it." And he started hitting push-ups.
Yeah.
And he was good. Yeah.
He said, "You hop on my back. I need a little extra weight on top."
Yeah. No, his health issues at this point in his life have been well chronicled, and I love my dad, and I felt like I needed to see him while he was still in
For sure.
reasonably good shape.
How old is he?
He's 88.
88.
Yeah.
A lot of change seen in that man's
What a
life.
champion, though, man.
I know.
88. What a
I know.
champion.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think I'm just going to say this, and maybe I shouldn't say this because I'm putting it into the realm, but I would be shocked if I see 88.
Dude, I was surprised to see 38.
Yeah.
Man.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the old saying, if I'd known I was going to live this long, I
I
would
took better care of myself.
That's exactly right.
Well, that's the whole purpose of us not taking care of ourselves, right? We didn't think we'd make it this long.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I got into a lot of fun stuff with my dad. You haven't lived until you've taken your dad to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. So, actually, speaking of that, I got a funny thing I saw. Oh, got a refuel Pat there.
Thanks,
So,
Bubba.
Got it.
while you're doing that, why don't you just go ahead?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Just keep this train rolling.
I had my cord getting in the way. So Marcy and I, we had a date night the other night.
There we go.
And of course, we went to Walmart.
Of course.
That's where you always go on a date.
I don't say that's where when you've been married for 10 plus years, you just go to Walmart.
Yeah.
But we were in Walmart. I don't remember what we were looking for, but we were walking past this aisle and I looked and it was the diapers, but it was the adult diapers.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I kind of got tickled. No offense to any of our listeners that might be rocking the Depends, but it was like a big pack, the like industrial pack, and it's a guy. It looked like he was probably 45 years old. he's the model on the front wearing them. Yeah. He's got on a big old Depends, and he just looks like he's having the time of his life.
That's exactly
and
right.
I told Marcy, I said, I don't know at what point in like your modeling career are you like, well, I've been relegated to the Depends aisle.
I want you to think about this. A lot of our heroes could be sponsors for this now.
Like Clint Eastwood?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was at. Could you imagine is like, keep
Yes.
your hands off my Depends.
Yeah, 96 years old. He's retired. He's retired from the film.
Could you
Get off
imagine
my lawn. I've got some leakage.
Could you imagine Sly would be like, hey, like when I got a leak, it just happens.
I know. It's hard watching your heroes get old.
Yeah, it is. It hurts.
Oh, man. It's hard watching yourself get old.
Yeah.
Getting old ain't for sissies.
No, it's not.
No, it's still better than the alternatives
That's
at this
true.
point, though.
It is. And actually, before you get to hear anything else from us, you got to do a couple of things. First, we need you to hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment below. You comment on YouTube, you get to hear Pat read them. Comment on Spotify, you get to hear me read them. But we want you to also leave us 5-star ratings on everything, on Spotify, on Apple.
Go do it.
Do it and share these with your friends.
Yes.
And Pat?
All right, so we have a new friend who said, it's Miss Deanna Morris. She said, I liked and subscribed.
Look at that.
There you go.
Deanna.
But listen to her right here. Going to sit on the porch and await my prosperity. You go, girl. Like, we're here for you.
Yes. You got to learn the right words, and you got to have enough faith.
Yeah, that tickled me as soon as I read it. All right, so Miss Anita Smith, she says, "Good morning, Brother Peter and crew. My name is Anita Smith. My husband Dan and I have been attending the 8:30 service at Holly Grove since November 2025.
Yes.
We love the church, your teachings, and its family, and consider it to be our new church home.
Great. That's
Look
great
at
to hear.
that.
Thank you for welcoming us.
They done subscribe to Holly Grove Church.
We love this topic, prosperity gospel. I will admit we have listened to some mega church pastors online. One thing we've noticed in the past few years is the teaching on the end times prophecies.
Yeah.
More importantly, saying the U.S. is not in the Bible because our nation will be wiped out due to sin and evil, and believers will be raptured. Is this false teaching? Because Genesis to Revelation, Old Testament and to New Testament, the Bible speaks of all nations, Genesis 10:32.
That's right.
Referring to the clans of Noah's sons, and these nations spread out all over earth after the flood. And in chapter 22, verse 18, referring to Abraham and all of his offspring, all nations on earth will be blessed. In Revelation 7:9, John says, after this, I looked from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne, before the Lamb. Verse 10, and they, referring to the nations, cried out in a loud voice, salvation belongs to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb. So we are not part of all nations of earth? I feel it is a form of fear-mongering. In John 8:12, Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. I trust the word. After all, Jesus said, no one knows but only the Father. God bless you guys. Your guidance is appreciated.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's take just a second, because Anita knows her Bible.
She does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, she came with receipts.
yes, she did.
She did.
We don't get these kind of comments.
No, usually we get told we're dumb.
So I would say the first one is how come the U.S. isn't mentioned in the Bible?
Well, obviously because the Bible was written thousands of years ago, and so nobody knew about a
That's
U.S., right? And okay, so a couple of things real quick. To say the U.S. isn't mentioned in the Bible because it's going to be wiped out because of sin and evil, I mean, that is a false teaching.
Yeah, because
It just
if the U.S. is not mentioned in the Bible, it is not mentioned about being wiped out.
Well, there's a lot of nations that are not mentioned in the Bible.
That's right. Russia.
And like we're going to talk about today, some people will say that the U.S. is the new chosen people.
The new Israel.
And so, that's problematic as well. All of those things are false because they're not found anywhere in the text or in the narrative of the Bible. And I love, Anita, how you went from Genesis to Revelation.
That's right, because that's the narrative, right?
That's the
That
story.
is the narrative.
That's exactly
that
right.
is the narrative.
And yes, all nations will be blessed. That's God's promise. I mean, to the world. But when you get into Revelation, and we did a whole series on Revelation, so if you want,
We're going to do it again.
No, we're not.
This year.
I will go on sabbatical.
No, we spent a lot of time in Revelation. You can go back in the archives and you can find each one. We did 22, 3.
Oh God,
23
27 or something.
I think it was 23 episodes.
If a breeze blows my Bible to Revelation, I I get
close it again. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was 23 episodes.
Yeah, we wrung it out good.
We did.
But especially when it talks about nations in the Bible, it very rarely, every now and then, it will talk about a nation state.
Yeah.
It will mention a nation specifically, like Babylon or like Assyria, stuff like that. And then we know it's a particular nation.
Yeah.
I
I feel like a lot of times when they are mentioned, it's bad.
A lot of times it is bad.
Yeah.
And
It almost is better to not be mentioned.
I kind of feel that way. If you're, especially when it comes to end times, if you're mentioned in prophecy, you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Well, and then when we get to the New Testament, I mean, the primary nation that is mentioned is Rome.
That's right.
Because that was the oppressive nation.
Now, what's interesting is how come we always are called the New Israel, but we're never called the New Rome?
I know, or the New Babylon.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I know. Gives you a little bit of food for thought.
It does.
But anyway, most of the time, especially in Revelation, when it talks about every nation, tribe, tongue, all this stuff, it's talking about people groups. people and their languages and their cultures.
Yep.
And so it wouldn't be a particular nation. It's not going to be like, here's those from India over here, and here's those from Nigeria over here, and all going to come together. It literally just means every type of person on the earth, no matter where they come from or what language they speak.
Gotcha.
Would you say that a person of Jesus is a person of Jesus, regardless if they're American or Chinese?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that's the purpose, right?
Well, and think about, I'm going to be preaching on a little bit about this week. Think about the day of Pentecost. Okay. So a lot of nations were listed there, that there were Jews from all of these nations present, and they heard the teaching in their own language.
That's right.
Okay. So this is kind of what we're talking about when we're talking about the vision for the blessing of the nations, is that no matter what your context, then you are, if you're a person of God through Jesus and with the power of the Holy Spirit, then you belong.
Yeah.
And we will all be, singing the same praises around the throne.
That's right.
Because it talks about in Revelation how, it even gives words to it.
During
worthy
the
is the Lamb.
interludes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so that. Anytime we get into this, I know the way it's going to go down, and this is where the U.S. falls in the biblical narrative and all that stuff. You really just can't put any stock in it.
We always like to reference back to the fact that Jesus himself pretty much says he does not know the day.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, and we even like to joke around and say, if somebody by some strike of lightning luck were to actually say the date, and God's like, oh wow, that was the date, he'd be like, all right, I'm going to scoot it over a little bit.
I'm going to change it. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And maybe he's been changing it.
He might have.
It's like,
there's some guy that has like actually gotten it right continuously, and God's like, nope.
Sorry.
Change it. 2 days
Quit
later.
doing it. Quit doing it.
So,
Let's get this show on the road already.
Yeah. But we do appreciate the comments.
Actually, that was a great comment.
Yeah,
and I
it is.
appreciate
Anita, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
We got my sister-in-law.
Hold on, we got one more.
Sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
We got one more from Miss Debbie, always writes in.
Oh,
Yes.
She says, I am guilty of listening to a few mega preachers in the past, as we all are.
Yeah.
Common sense should tell some folks that these fellows don't need, quotations, jets, and other unnecessary lavish things.
Yeah.
It's an I want. Yes, I want a lot of things, and the Lord has not provided. But
You know why, Pat?
because I'm not a mega church pastor.
Wanted enough.
Because you may not handle them responsibly.
I'll tell you right now, if I had a jet, I'd be doing
That's what
loop-de-loops,
I'm
barrel
talking about.
rolls, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
God's not going to give you something by which you would get arrested.
Well, okay.
Because you can do that all by yourself if you want to. Okay?
So God's not going to give me anything because I can use anything to get arrested.
We can all do it,
Yeah.
let me tell you.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing is if your 3-year-old son comes and asks you for a shotgun, no matter how bad he wants it, you're going to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to wait till you're 4.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you need another year. Yeah.
See, I told my 3-year-old, why do you want another one?
Yeah.
You already got one.
Yeah.
You got one. Why do you need 2?
All right. So Liz writes on Spotify
Just today.
just today, 5 hours ago.
Love it.
Like I said, man, fresh off the press. She said, short version of a very long answer. Positive affirmations can be useful. Again, I try to link them to personal values, reference scripture. It's more about balance than it is about positive. She put in quotations.
Right.
Having balanced thinking allows you the ability to see opposing sides of the same situation, thought, experience. Your brain doesn't fully develop till about age 25. Changing your thinking can essentially change your brain functions.
Absolutely.
You can essentially rewire your brain with practice out of characters. So there you go.
Yes.
Thank you, Liz. Yeah.
Your brain finishes developing at 25?
Well, it doesn't complete its development until you're 25. That's why.
Oh, no, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Some are even later than that.
So I was going to say, I made it to about 15%. No.
There's certain connections that your brain grows into, and a lot of it has to do with your ability to make to experience delayed gratification and to make wise decisions, not impulsive decisions.
Oh yeah, I'm still pretty impulsive.
I was going to say
There
I'm
you go.
very impulsive.
Yeah.
So
But also about the positive affirmations, I think that there's such a good point to be made about balanced thinking, because some people will say, well, just declare that everything is positive. And that is not acknowledging the negative that
Right.
exists. You're
Yeah.
just trying to overcome it or ignore it or sweep it away. And so it's okay to say that something's negative. It's
Yeah.
okay to
Yeah.
say my neck hurts.
Yeah.
Because it does. I'm not going to say my neck is fine, when it's not. But you can have a positive affirmation that says, I'm, in spite of the negative that I have in my life today, I'm going to choose joy. I'm going to choose wisdom. I'm gonna, those can all be part of your self-encouragement process. And I think those are good.
So I'm gonna say thank you guys for writing in, for especially for being so intelligent, and just because I stumble over the words and don't understand them all does not mean I don't appreciate it.
No,
right.
and boy, this has got to be right up there with the most thoughtful comments. we've had.
It does.
agree.
Yeah, it
I
really
agree.
does.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to have a not so thoughtful comment here.
Yes, let's get the not so thoughtful joke.
Yes. Okay, so everybody knows who Stevie Wonder is.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you remember who Jack Nicklaus was?
The golfer?
Yes, the golfer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very famous. One of the most successful golfers of all time.
Not Jack Nicholson.
Just not better than John Daly.
No, nobody could.
I've been drinking since 9 a.m.
Yeah, he can actually chip out of the sand with holding a cigarette in his hand.
He's
So-
a beast, man. He drinks like 27 Diet Cokes a day.
Oh, man.
Literally.
I can't drink 27 anything.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
And he's never, Tiger Woods has had multiple DUIs. John Daly's never had one.
Never.
Well, it's hard to get pulled over on a golf cart.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. Him and George Jones on his riding lawnmower.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So Stevie Wonder and Jack Nicklaus are in a bar. Nicklaus turns to Wonder and says, how's the singing career going? Stevie Wonder says, not too bad. The latest album's gone into the top 10. So all in all, I think it's pretty good. How's your golf game? He says, not too bad. I'm not winning as much as I used to, but I'm still making some money. I got some problems with my swing, but I think I'm on my way to working that out. I always find that when my swing goes wrong, I need to stop playing for a while and think about it. And the next time I play, it seems to be all right, says Stevie. Jack says, you play golf? He says, yeah, I've been playing for years. But I thought, you're blind. How can you play golf if you're blind? I get my caddy to stand in the middle of the fairway and call to me. I listen for the sound of his voice and play the ball towards him. Then when I get to where the ball lands, the caddy moves to the green or further down the fairway, and again I play the ball towards his voice. But how do you putt? Hang on. There we go. There it is. He says, well, I get my caddy to lean down in front of the hole and call to me with his head on the ground, and I just play the ball to the sound of his voice. He says, well, what's your handicap? I play off scratch, he says. And he says, I can't believe that. He says, we really need to play a game sometime. He says, well, people don't take me seriously, so I only play for money. And I never play for less than $100,000 a hole. He says, piece of cake, man. I'm up for that. When would you like to play? He said, I don't care. Any night this week.
That's good.
Any night this week.
Any night this week. Yes.
That's good. That's good.
So,
All right. Yeah,
There you go.
there's your not thoughtful joke.
that's
That
exactly
is
right.
great.
I know. I thought that was a good one.
All right, so what are we talking about today?
Well, we're nearing the end of our series on where the church, we're calling it When the Church Lost the Plot.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as when the church got a little misguided, maybe got off the rails just a little bit,
Right.
maybe a little too underzealous or overzealous, or and so we've been through what have we been through so far? We've been through
Prosperity Gospels last week.
prosperity gospel. Yeah, we did
Spanish
Inquisition.
Crusades.
Crusades. We did slavery.
Yeah,
The Bible.
that was the one that got all the hatred.
Yeah, we
We had a lot of pro-slavery people that were not happy with us.
pro-slavery and anti-Bible.
That's
by the
right.
way.
Yes.
So we again, you can't cover the whole issue in one episode. We're really just trying to highlight the fact that there was a time in the church's history where they used the scriptures themselves to promote that. So this week we're going to get into a very juicy subject.
We are.
I mean, Yeah. Okay. So this is an episode on Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism. Now, yeah, there you go.
I know, got our flag right there.
Flag right there. Everybody is okay. Now,
it is not a rainbow flag.
Well, it is June though. Anyway, so and we are very proud people.
We're very proud. Yes,
we are.
Yeah.
Yes, I got a lot of pride.
Anyway,
It's just Pride Month in general, right? You just got to be proud.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm proud of a lot of things.
Pride comes before the fall.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, so many of you might
Peter's
know,
like, let's move on before this gets bad.
We're going to have to do a whole nother episode.
Like I've opened a can of worms here.
Exactly. So many of you might know that term, but different people have used it in different ways. If you don't know the term, Christian nationalism is sort of a philosophy or a pursuit of a particular goal. It says it's kind of like being patriotic and being zealous about your Christian faith at the same time.
Yeah.
So you want to take your zeal for the Christian faith and play that out in the political system, in the governmental system. Would you say that's fairly accurate?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. So
Which to me, in general, there doesn't sound like a bad thing.
Okay. Well, here's always my counter to it. It's the Christian version of Iran.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it is the Islamic State or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it that way. You could say that about a number of nations. Could
That's
you
right.
not?
That's right.
You could have at one point you could have said that about the British Empire.
Yep. You can even say it about China because China is its own religion.
Well, that's true.
You know, you can say it about North Korea. It makes me weary.
And the religion and the nation are identified
Intertwined.
together.
Yep,
You
they're intertwined.
cannot separate
That's
them.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we try not to step in the mud holes too far. I want to put some boundaries around it pretty quick. Definitions. Okay.
Sure.
And I want to start by saying what Christian nationalism is not.
Okay.
Christian nationalism is not Christians voting their values.
Okay.
Because I think Christians should vote their values. Right?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Absolutely.
It is not the same as Christians engaging in politics or public life.
Right.
So it's okay to be.
You're allowed to run for a political office.
Yeah, you can be a Christian and a politician at the same time, or a Christian and a business leader, or all those things. Okay.
Coke dealer.
Yes.
Coca-Cola he's talking about.
Yes, exactly. Christian nationalism is not the same as Christians advocating for policies they believe reflect biblical concepts and biblical ethics.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Advocate all you want.
I'm good with all of these things you've mentioned so far.
Yep.
Christian nationalism is not the same as patriotism or love of country.
That's right.
Yes. And see, that's the big one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because I think people think, and this is probably where, I told Pat and Peter off air that I probably at one time would have identified myself as a Christian nationalist.
Yeah.
But I just consider myself to be a very patriotic guy, very proud to be an American. But it's
Because at least you know you're free.
at least I know I'm free. We're going to start playing Peter needs his keyboard. We're going to start playing right now.
Yes.
Lee Greenwood, is he hiding behind the
I
curtain
think
somewhere?
he's coming out in a minute.
But I mean, I think that a lot of people think if you're patriotic and you're a Christian, then it makes you a Christian nationalist.
Or that if you're critical of Christian nationalism, then you're accusing people of not being patriotic, or you're not patriotic yourself. You
Yes.
just don't love your country enough.
Yeah.
And that is not true. I love my country.
Look, I'm
I don't want to live anywhere else.
Yeah.
I have the American flag tattooed on
Yes.
this arm and Psalm 25 tattooed on this one. And
Pat
I
is
am,
a Christian
and I
nationalist.
am belligerently not a Christian nationalist.
But you are very patriotic.
I am patriotic.
I am
Yeah,
too.
Pat served the military.
Yes. I am
He's,
very
he's as
patriotic.
patriotic as you can get.
Yes. Served our country. Absolutely.
He has an American flag tattooed on his head under his head of hair. A lot of people don't know this.
That's true. That's true.
So also, Christian nationalism is not the same as believing God is sovereign over all nations.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because clearly, God is
Yes.
sovereign over everything.
Right. Yep.
And so,
Yep.
God allows certain empires to rise, and when it gets too far, he cuts them back down again, and you know, the whole thing.
Pat said this earlier. Pride comes before the fall.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so those are just some starting points as to what we're not talking about.
And I think that's a good thing to lay out, because I think a lot of people, you say this kind of stuff and they feel like, whoa, you're attacking us for loving our country and being patriotic.
And
it's
that's
being Christian at the same time.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking
No,
about.
and so we don't want to trigger anybody. But we will say that Christian nationalism is.
That's what I was going to say. So tell us what it is.
Yeah.
Now, this is not a definitive list, but this gives us some guidelines to go by.
Right.
Yeah.
So typically, Christian nationalism is the belief that America was founded as a Christian nation in a special covenantal relationship with God. Okay, so let me dig into that just a minute.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Now, Logan, would you agree that the United States of America was founded on Christian values and Christian principles?
Yes. Sure. Not. I want to make a distinction. Not by Christians.
That's right.
But with Christian values. There were Christians.
A couple of Christians thrown in the mix.
Yeah, and then there was some oddballs thrown in the mix.
Yeah.
Here's what's funny is when you pull that back even a farther layer, America was founded for religious freedom.
Religious freedom.
All right, not Christian religion freedom, religious freedom.
That's exactly right.
You worship who you want, how you want, when you want.
That's exactly right, because they were not allowed to do that where they came from. And
now
so
their thinking was basically like kind of the way I've always understood it, though, the way they viewed it. Even the non-Christians viewed that a belief system like that actually did steer you in a better direction.
Well, here's the thing. In a place where you can actually choose what you worship, that would be true worship, yeah? If I tell you who you have to worship or who you can't worship, that's not a true worship.
That wouldn't be religious freedom either. Is our founding fathers documents, like the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all this stuff, are those they clearly are based on
one nation under God.
Actually, the under God part wasn't added until the 50s.
That's true, but I mean, even though you read the Mayfield Compact. The Mayfield Compact.
Completely.
It has God language in it.
Absolutely.
You read the Declaration, it has God language in it.
Absolutely. And even like, the opening statements of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all this stuff, Declaration of Independence, the whole thing. I mean, they're clearly the idea that that all men are created equal, that's hinting around that we're the image of God, right?
Sure.
And I think that was sort of playing in the background. They are all what we call Judeo-Christian values.
I like that. I like that term. Yeah,
because they're clearly speaking of the God of the Bible, the principles that Jesus taught, all those things. Now,
and by the way, the Baptists didn't jump off and like, all right, we're a Baptist nation. None of that. No, it was Judeo-Christian beliefs. I like that.
If you go back to our series on denominations, the Baptists were clearly the religious minority and were persecuted by other denominations.
Like it was not like First Methodist and the Assembly of God hitched a boat ride together, jumped off. It's like you go that way, we go this way. No, it was Judeo-Christian beliefs.
Yeah. And I would call them values principles because nowhere in our documents does it say we're all going to believe in God together.
Right. Yeah. Right.
It's just that it leaves all the space for it, and it creates this value system that is very, very close to many of the principles in the Bible.
It does. And I actually, your early stipulations, I like that. I really appreciate that because too, I've run across in conversations with some people, like when I was talking about election or something, and you kind of run into this thing where they're like, well, I don't vote because I know who is on the throne. And that frustrates me. I'm like, okay, that's true. That is true. I do know that at the end of the day, Jesus is on the throne. But I'm like, but I do have my values and my Christian beliefs and my Christian values, they shape how I vote. They do very much influence that. And I don't think that I'm any less of a Christian because I want to go and partake in the elections.
All right, look, I'm going to go ahead and make this blanket statement. Minus Jesus in the Bible, God always uses you
Yeah.
right.
to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
he partners with his people.
Yeah.
God never says,
Jesus
"Hey,
is my friend."
He
That's it.
never told
I have a friend
Moses,
in
"Hey,
Jesus."
sit there and you know what? The Egyptians or the Hebrews are just going to get transported to Israel." No, God always calls people to do things.
That's right.
And it's better for me to go and vote than to take up arms and go and try to make my way.
Hey, if you want to win, we can do that.
If you pull out a sword, Jesus is going to tell you to put it away.
That's right. If I chop somebody's ear off, he'll just put it back on.
That's it. Okay, so the other part of that statement is found as a Christian nation in a special covenantal relationship with God.
Yeah.
That's where it begins.
See, that's pretty interesting.
I know, because the only covenant that God made with a nation was with ancient Israel.
Yeah. And I like that preface you put in there, ancient.
Ancient Israel.
Yeah.
So we won't get into all the Israel stuff right now because that's a whole other
Now
podcast.
that's an episode when you do. Now we might be assassinated afterwards.
I think
might
it
be.
was 7 covenants, yeah?
Yes, there's a series of and God, I mean, the reason they got displaced from their land is because they did not keep the covenant.
Yeah.
The main covenant of the. Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah.
Now you're saying a covenantal. So would a true Christian nationalist say, like, when you say that, they mean like God divinely ordained
Think about
America?
it this way: like we had the Abrahamic covenant, we had the Davidic covenant, we had the Mosaic covenant. We had these covenants like that God entered in with people in nations at the time. But to be like Thomas Jefferson and George Washington were like, all right, God said this, and so
And Jesus said, "This is my blood. It's a new covenant."
right. And that was the final one.
That was it.
That was it.
That was it. And who did he make that covenant with? All who will believe in him.
Yeah.
Everyone who calls on the name of Jesus.
Exactly. So the covenantal relationship thing is exactly what you were talking about, how America was formed as a special nation for a special purpose in the world, which then excludes all other nations. So Sweden is not special.
Except for the chocolate.
Finland is not special. Yeah, we are the ones who are going to lead the way
Yeah.
to the end times.
With the beacon on the hill, my friend.
Yes, that's right. We're going to talk about that too.
Sounds a little bit like Rome.
So that's one aspect of Christian nationalism.
Yeah.
It also is the belief that America's laws and government should be explicitly based on a specific Christian theology. And this is really important because when you make a statement like, well, I want America to be a Christian nation. Well, which brand?
Yeah, and that was one of the things when I was kind of preparing. It's like, and we did the denominations thing, and there is still so many more denominations. And it's like, well, which denomination are we going to go by? Because we can't even agree.
No, we cannot.
I was just going to say, has America ever done that?
Well, and I will make the argument that it wasn't designed to do that.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the deal: it's like if you get in trouble, and let's say you were a wealthy landowner, and I get in trouble, and I'm just a little Joe Schmo poor guy, right? You have resources to deal with that trouble that I don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we will have different outcomes. But that's what Christianity teaches, right?
Yeah.
Come on, man. America's never been about that.
No, because you have a country to run.
That's right. It's a business.
Yeah.
And you
It
have
is a business.
You have laws and you have jails and you have, so we'll talk a little bit more about that, but suffice it to say, and we were talking about this before we started rolling, that the idea of a Christian nation is just two concepts that don't go together.
Yeah, those words do not mesh.
Because a Christian exists in relationship with God through Jesus, powered by the Holy Spirit, and that you could say, oh well, I want our nation to do that, but that a nation does not exist to be in relationship with God through Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a political system. It's a governmental system, and so
Now, it would be beautiful to have a nation of Christians.
well, see, if you want to, you can have a Christian nation, shall we say, but you would have to have more and better Christians in the nation.
Yeah.
And there lies the problem.
Yeah. And so that's what we're going to kind of examine is the best strategy to have Christians take over the nation, or would the best strategy be for more Christians to help create other Christians and
Well,
more
that's what
Christians and better Christians?
Well, I had this question too. If it was, governed by law, how many people do we know, us three, people that go to church to check a box?
Yeah.
And if it was on the books that it was a law, It would be a nation of people checking boxes.
And it wouldn't be any more Christian than it started with.
It would be nothing.
It might be a safer place to live. It might be a happier place to live. All those things, but we can do all those things already.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's and I ain't going to, what I said, the one solution there, I feel like we'll get to that later. I don't want to jump to that yet.
Right.
Yeah. I'll save that for a little later in the episode.
Logan's got a couple of nuggets he's going to lay on us.
Yeah.
And here's another aspect of Christian nationalism. It is the belief that, now listen to these words carefully. Christian identity and American identity are essentially the same thing.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay. So the key word there is identity.
Yeah.
Because what we're seeing here, especially in this Christian nationalist movement, is that Christianity is, to many people, not an actual belief or an actual way of living that follows Jesus. It's more of a stamp, a badge, a title. So you can have Christian nationalism
without the faith,
without Christians.
Yeah.
You remember in school?
It's possible. I'm not saying it all is. I'm just saying.
When you had to take the IQ test, you remember it was like apple is to pie as in America is to Christians? What?
Yeah,
that makes no sense. That makes no sense.
But this is a thing. This is a thing. So just so we're clear, we got all the you can't tell the players without a scorecard. And this then leads to the belief that America has a unique divine destiny that must be politically protected and restored. We're taking our nation back. You'll hear language like that.
Yeah.
When did we ever lose it?
Well, I mean, those are questions we have to ask ourselves.
Well, and I'll tell you, like somebody on the Christian nationalist side, they would hear it in their thoughts, and this is what I had said earlier. They would say, well, all right, if I'm going to pick a faith to govern my nation, which one would I pick is the best? Which one would I say is the best one? Well, if I am a Christian, then I would most likely say it is the Christian faith is the one that needs to govern it.
Yeah.
And these same folks would say, look at the nation today as we've seen a decline in the Christian faith. And they would say, we're seeing more, the sexual deviancy is just, it seems like every day I'm seeing more crap. And then
a lot more violent crime,
violence, and all this. And it's like, well, the further we erode from the faith, the more there. And so that's where their argument, they would actually probably even say, I would almost bet they would say, even if it's not true faith, it would move the nation in the right direction. I would almost venture to say they would say that because they'd be like, well, it would, like you said, it would create a safer nation, and maybe it would expose more. I don't know.
Man, it's all an illusion. It is an illusion. It's propaganda at the best. You tell me what state cocaine is legal in, but people do it in 50 states across the country.
Man, I feel like I got an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. So I feel like
I'm just telling you right now, laws only keep honest people honest.
Who's the devil and who's the angel, Peter?
I got to be the devil.
No, it's just like Logan's going, well, I could see this. Pat's going, no, throw it in the trash.
Yeah, it's a dumpster fire. It's an illusion. People wrap themselves up in the stars and stripes and tell themselves whatever they want to hear. And
all I heard is some Toby Keith start playing when Pat just said stars and stripes.
Yeah,
and the stars and stripes.
And you stamp Jesus on it, and it's new.
Well,
like I honestly think that the way the country should be ran, it's what is good for equality for all mankind. What's your choice? Because that's ultimately what the Bible teaches. You choose Jesus or you don't. It's your choice. It's not the government's choice. It's not a country's choice. It's your choice. Or
I would love for our country to have an atmosphere where it would be very attractive to choose Jesus.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that would be awesome. But we'll get into that. Okay, so and here's the final one: the belief that America has a unique divine destiny that must be politically protected and restored, and then the willingness to use coercive political power to enforce that vision.
Yeah, so
that's where I think
that's where it really goes off the rails.
That's where it gets a little dicey to me.
That's the little Calvinist.
look, man, it's me being the '90s kid. Damn the man. No, like you're not going to tell me what to do. It's just not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen.
this is an interesting time that we live in because this is kind of this movement is happening. It's all over the place.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's gained a lot of steam, I would say, in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, we saw it really big in the 60s, and now it's growing back again now.
Listen to this paragraph here. Now, I'm really trying hard not to push too many buttons or trip too many triggers. Okay?
Don't worry, I'll push them for you.
Okay, so I am generally fairly politically agnostic.
Same.
I try to be responsible and do my play my part and the whole thing. But anyway,
I listen to lies from both sides.
Okay, so listen to this paragraph. January 6th, 2021. See, I triggered somebody already. Because everybody has a different way they feel about this, right? But let's just dissect it just a little bit and then look at it from a biblical view. So we got the Capitol, in the crowd, wooden crosses, Christian flags, signs reading Jesus saves, God, guns, and Trump, right? A man in a horned fur hat leads a prayer on the floor of the United States Senate. Another man wears a shirt that reads Camp Auschwitz. And then many people who call themselves followers of Jesus storm the seat of the American government in what they believe is a holy cause. So did I say anything out of bounds there?
No.
That's kind of what happened.
Sounds like what happened,
right. Now, hold that image and hold this one. A crowd tries to make Jesus king by force. He slips away into the hills alone. That's in John 6. Another, Satan offers Jesus every kingdom in the world. Jesus says no. That's in Matthew 4. Pilate asks, are you the king of the Jews? Jesus says, my kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight. That's in John 18. So this is the assertion. Jesus was offered political power every time the opportunity arose, and he refused it every single time. So one way to look at this, Christian nationalism is the church saying yes on his behalf without his permission and without his blessing.
Specifically the January 6th thing, I'm telling you right now, for me, it's no different than the Crusades.
It has a lot of similarities.
It's similar to that in the aspect of, this is what Jesus would do, so let's take the hill. No, Jesus never did anything like that. Well, and if you act out in violence and say it's on behalf of Jesus, sir, you have misinterpreted the scriptures.
Well, this is what we're just trying to compare two scenarios here. Again, what have we said in all of these episodes? Something that starts out with a good intention.
That's right.
That tends to
go off the rails a little bit. Yeah.
And could we even say that a lot of good intentions that spiral off come from misinformation?
Well, it also
being not well informed about the situation.
Sure, it does.
Well, and the bad thing now, which I'm always if you've been listening a long time, I'm the alien guy. I always want to, but I was telling Pat and Pete earlier, I was like, man, January 6th thing, I probably have different views on it than a lot, but because I'm a conspiracy dude, and I've seen videos and watched this. I'm like, man, I don't know, it ain't quite jiving with me. So I've even got weird feelings about that, but.
Illuminati.
When I was going to tell you, y'all look up the Capitol Police. They let some of these fellas in there. Why they do that? So
something's going on.
If I was a police guard in the Capitol, I don't think I'd be opening the doors for nobody.
That's a good point.
So it's some weird stuff, but it is. I don't like it. I tell you, and I'm. I feel like probably people could figure out which direction I lean politically pretty easily with a lot of my. Yeah. What I enjoy and do. I'm a very conservative fella. I'm fine with saying it. I don't like it when any political figure is equated to like the Messiah. Like that bothers me. Yeah. I think that's weird.
Look, I've experienced this in my life, and all you have to do is give a fool a cause.
Well, that's been proven. And how many episodes have we done? The cults and the heresies.
All you got to do is give them a call.
And then get naked.
And that's just we're all going to get, somebody's going to get naked.
Somebody's going to get naked.
Exactly right. We need to put that on a shirt sometime. We really
get naked.
Somebody's going to
get Yeah. Okay. So
a Holly Grove church shirt. And then on the back it's going to say, get naked. Be good outreach for the community.
or something. Yeah. It certainly will distract people from the Christian nationalist movement.
It would do that. No, we'll put an American flag on the back of the shirt.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where did this come from? Where were the seeds planted? All the way back in it goes all the way back to the Puritan settlers of New England in the 17th century.
Yep.
This was something new to me. I did not know this, but it's fascinating. John Winthrop's 1630 sermon called "A Model of Christian Charity," delivered aboard the Arbella before landing in Massachusetts, contains the phrase that has echoed through American history ever since.
Dang.
City
Okay.
on a
What is
hill.
it?
I know. We shall be as a city upon a hill. The eyes of all people are upon us.
Oh, so that's where the beacon on a hill thing came
Yes.
from.
Yep.
All right.
Well, it's
exactly right.
lifted from Rome.
Well, and then you remember in the 80s, Ronald Reagan
Yep.
co-opted that phrase. He even referenced the sermon.
Gotcha.
John
I didn't
Winthrop.
know that was his name, but I knew that was the Massachusetts landing.
And so they saw their settlement in the New World as a covenant with God, a new Israel. They actually they actually
believed
thought
that, yeah.
they sure did, because they were persecuted and basically suppressed and kicked out of where they came from, and so they thought, well, this is God moving us to this new glorious land,
So we can be free.
yeah, and so we can work toward basically godly causes, shall we say.
Yep.
Yeah.
A chosen people establishing God's commonwealth in the wilderness. So here we go. Reasonable, good intention.
That's what I was going to say. To me, that sounds good.
Genuine, sincere faith, seeking to build a community shaped by biblical values.
Yeah.
But here we go. The Puritan vision contained the seeds of Christian nationalism's core error. They transferred the specific covenant language God used with Israel to a particular nation state. They believed America occupied the role in God's redemptive plan that Israel occupied in the Old Testament. Once you make that move, the nation becomes sacred. Its enemies become God's enemies.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of where we are.
Yeah.
Its political interests become God's political interests. And the gospel becomes a tool of national identity rather than a challenge to national identity.
Yeah.
And so this is, I think, the core of the issue right here is when we start to name enemies as God's enemies.
Yeah.
And we, to be fair, to be clear, many of the people that came after the Puritans did not have covenantal visions at all.
Yeah.
They wanted land and they wanted to colonize and they wanted to get the resources and do all the stuff. It was purely capitalistic.
Yeah.
But if you sort of hold this ideal up that you're the called people, you're the city on the hill, you're the chosen, then you can do all these other things and then just do it in the name of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it makes me think about like, okay, well, what if in like, let's say, I don't know, even World War II, do you think that in World War II, I mean, I'm sure Christianity, it may not have been rampant, but I'm sure there was Germans that were Christians.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Do you think there was Germans that were praying in the foxholes that they
What's-
wouldn't get killed?
What's so funny about that is the Nazi cause was Hitler saying this is a Christian mission.
Yeah.
And so everybody could be enemies of God.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean,
quite
so
literally,
who is
Nazis, depending on how you want to call it, Nazis were a Christian nationalist movement.
Well, and saying that's an odd thing that this has been a bizarre thing I've seen even in my life so far. Just in the last, I'll tell you, this is something that has come out of the last, I would say 6 years. It is almost okay now to be a Nazi. And I remember,
That's scary. I agree with that.
I can remember when I was younger, like anytime, even comedians, like they could make a joke about anything would make somebody mad except when they'd make fun of Nazis because
They would
everybody
condemn-
agreed Nazis were evil.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so it's like, yeah, and Hitler was evil. And now there's like people
What's
that
funny
like
is
him.
when you mentioned that, I was literally just looking that up.
Yeah.
Hitler used Christian propaganda all the time. And the Christian nation, if we want to call it that, of Germany bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
And they were a Christian nation.
Yeah.
And because God wills it.
Well, it's all over social media now.
I know.
Like there is so much like Nazi and like Hitler stuff and
More than I've seen in my lifetime.
that's how I'm in. And I can remember a time when he used to be like, that was a universal evil.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. We might not agree on anything, but we can agree that Hitler was evil.
Yeah. Yep.
Not anymore.
No.
Okay, so we're just going to take a minute to go through to get a little more specific about this whole founded on Christian principles and all this stuff.
Sure.
So Christian nationalism requires the founders to have been all Orthodox Christians establishing a Christian nation with a Christian purpose, right?
Right.
Problem is, the founders were religiously diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of hinted at this earlier.
A lot of them were atheists as well.
Okay, so George Washington practiced.
He was gay.
Yeah, that's right. Right. And wooden teeth.
Yeah, that disqualifies him immediately. Wooden teeth.
He practiced Anglicanism culturally, but rarely took communion and avoided specific Christian language in his writings about God. That is true.
And he treated Freemasonry more like a religion than Christianity.
I don't think he was gay. I was throwing it for any of our people that are like, oh my goodness.
I cannot tell a lie. Okay, John Adams, explicitly Unitarian, denied the Trinity and the divinity of Christ. Thomas Jefferson
Made his own Bible.
Yeah.
Cut out all the supernatural elements from the Gospels. Benjamin Franklin, deist, which means he believed that there's a God out there somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't like organized religion, believed in a creator, but not in Christian revelation.
That's right.
James Madison, architect of the Constitution, was deeply committed to the separation of church and state as a protection for both.
All right. And see, and that was that's actually something that I like because a lot of people, if you talk about like putting the 10 commandments in the state capitol or something, they're like, oh no, church. And they're like, that's what it's in there for. And it's like, well, it's also in there to protect the church because there are some places where like they're seizing the pastor's sermon.
Absolutely.
It's also not in the Constitution. It's in a private letter between James Madison and Thomas Jefferson.
It is. But James Madison was deeply committed to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
He was insistent on it.
Yeah.
And why they didn't, put it specifically in the documents, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am all for it myself.
Yeah. I am too.
I don't want the state dictating your sermons.
No.
Well, and that's the thing too is a lot of people misunderstand separation of church and state, and what that means is the state cannot infringe on the church to say what you can and cannot preach.
And actually
it's
would take
protection of the church.
It is, and it actually would make me take that thinking about it even a little more. All right, we don't want the state to dictate your sermons. If we truly did go totally Christian nationalist, and like we said, what denomination is that going to be?
Could you
what
imagine
then
reading
stops the state
Could you
from saying?
imagine,
Exactly.
like this year we read out of the Bible of Trump. Last election we would have read out of the Bible of Biden.
Yeah.
And and that's what it would have to be.
Then we'll be reading the Lee Greenwood Bible.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what it would have to be.
But also things like, tax exempt status.
Yep.
That's first thing when we see a scandal.
Revoke their tax exempt status.
Yes, they should all be paying taxes. It's like, no, we have a separation there.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that you can't have Christian documents on display. You can't have, but even what would be better to have a bunch of people who know the 10 Commandments by heart.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people
or a
who
plaque
know,
on the wall.
Yeah, or a bunch of people who actually live by the Sermon on the Mount, or all those kinds of things.
So then that's the thing. Is it time to say the thing yet?
Go ahead. Yeah, lay it on.
All right. So this is where, like I said, I was kind of preparing for this earlier today. This is one I was really excited for this one. Like I've been pumped up for this episode. And I was like, as I was kind of digging through, man, all right, Christian nationalism, this or that, what do we really need? And instead of like a nation that is basically telling you and forcing you what you got to believe or do this or that, what we really need is a revival.
Yes.
That's actually what would be more impactful would be like a great revival and a great movement that actually changes hearts rather than just put this stamp on your hand that says you're X and you can live by the rules, do whatever. We need a revival.
Absolutely, we do.
For sure.
Because what happened if we experience revival in this nation or any other nation, it will seep its way into all levels of government, all cultural spaces. And, when true revival happens, I read a thing on the Welsh revival, And when the Welsh revival happened, there was not a pub left in town that was open.
Yeah.
Because the Christians drank them out of beer. They were waiting on more trucks.
But and alcohol was culturally acceptable even in Christian circles at that time. Yeah. But everybody quit going.
Yeah.
And it was a safer place to live, and it was a happier place to live. The incidents of domestic abuse went to the ground.
And it's not because the government is saying don't do this thing. It's because morally and faithfully they're like, this is the way that I should live my life.
I can prove it to you, the difference between revival and government. Has a president ever lied in office?
No.
Has anyone ever lied in a court of law?
No.
Okay, so...
You promised not to, Pat.
All right, so when you go to court, they say, raise your right hand. You do this in the name of God.
Yeah.
When you get sworn in for the oath of office, you do it on a Bible in the name of God.
Yeah.
And,
unless you're a fan of Dr. Seuss, and then you can put your hand on Dr. Seuss.
and that's what I mean is like it's a token image to do that. And isn't that the definition of taking the Lord's name in vain?
It is a very big part of it. Yes, it is.
And and so when we do that, that's what I'm terrified of. If we were a Christian nation, we would be a nation that takes the Lord's name in vain because it's law.
Yeah.
Well, if we are every human is the image of God. I truly believe that. No matter how wonderful or evil you are made in the image of God.
Yeah.
If you are the image of God and you are a follower of Jesus, then what you do and how you act and even how you govern should look like Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this is where the take things by force thing kind of.
I was just going to say, we ain't synced it yet.
Runs it off the rails. And so you look at these things, like manifest destiny. Manifest destiny. We need the whole nation.
Yeah.
I mean, God wants us to have the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not. I'm not against all of the land being United States, but there was a lot of carnage and a lot of a lot of not too good stuff that happened in the process.
Yeah.
And then we get to 20th century. We get to Cold War Christianity and the rise of the religious right.
That's what I was talking about. The 60s movement was the height of it.
This is in running into the 80s.
60s to the 80s, yep.
This was my grown-up time.
Yeah.
This is my jam. I'm an expert on it because I lived through it.
Been there. Been there, done that.
I'm serious. Many of the churches I attended were all about Jerry Falwell and the moral majority.
The Ruskies are going to get you because they're Satan.
And that's okay. So when the Cold War was kind of really getting underway, that's when under God was added, so that we could see communism as definitely anti-God, which I believe it is. But
sure.
But then you have the moral majority, 1979, explicit organization of evangelical Christians as a political voting bloc. We're all going to vote this way.
Yeah.
And then if we all vote this way, then God will be back in the government again.
Yeah, Hail Caesar.
I mean, I heard that all the time. And then we get to this something we talked about before, the New Apostolic Reformation.
Yep.
And the Seven Mountains Dominionism. That's the big thing that is, it's everywhere right now, everywhere, which is a contemporary theological framework explicitly calling Christians to take control of 7 spheres of cultural influence. Government, education, media, arts and entertainment, religion, family, and business.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the arts and entertainment, y'all failed miserably.
Yeah, how are we doing on this? How are we doing?
Hey, I will say now, have y'all watched any of the Angel Studios?
Logan, you can excuse yourself. The family.
Show yourself
Have
out.
you seen God's Not Dead, Pat?
The family, how many families end in divorce, have single parents, have tragedy in their home? Just in America, right? Our Christian nation.
Well, let's just say it this way. The nuclear family is the minority family type.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
In this nation.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
Hey,
but if I was
Speaking of,
What?
actually, in the great state of Tennessee,
Yeah.
the month of June was actually named Nuclear Family Month.
Wow.
look,
Yes.
let's look.
Wow.
So we can have some pride, my friends.
Look,
Absolutely.
I can give
Wow.
you a practical example. Peter's been a lifelong, since the existence of the team, lifelong Seattle Mariner fan.
I didn't know where you were going with that, Pat.
Now let's say all of a sudden we're going to be a nation that supports only Atlanta Braves. You have to do it, Peter. You have to do it.
Well, that's good. I'm good with that.
I'll just move to Mexico and root for them from there.
But I mean, here's the thing: is when you force someone to do something,
I know. Then
they run even harder away from it.
I won't ever love the Atlanta
Right,
Braves.
but if you have to check a box or go to jail,
Now, Ronnie Watson, I apologize because I know you're a Braves fan, and I will like the Braves when I'm talking to you, but I will never truly love them.
Hey, look,
and I know that's a very simplified version of it, but I mean, it's seriously what we're talking about.
Right.
yeah, see, Peter thought I might have been joking. Nuclear Family Month. It's a designation observed in June, championed by conservative state leaders. The observance is particularly prominent in states like Tennessee and Indiana, where it was established as a localized counterpoint to Pride Month.
Well, see, I don't think Tennessee has a leg to stand on with that one because, I mean, like I said, how many divorced families and single families are in Tennessee?
But we're going to celebrate the nuclear family.
Okay.
Come on.
You
now.
know, we'll be celebrating the Christian nation too.
What do we make our banners out of? What do we put on them?
I don't know. I hadn't seen any cool creative ones. I see we take the rainbow back.
Well, maybe we'd have to change the colors or something.
Yeah, because they just think we're a bunch of gays.
Just do it in black and white.
Oh man, you probably just got us censored in
Probably.
49 of the 50 states.
Yes. Like he said, gays.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're all kind of happy.
yeah, very, very, very happy people. Okay, so we've been through some of the ways that we feel like taking control by force of all these 7 areas is not only not wise, but it's not Jesus-like.
And it's like the by force thing is the thing. Like Pat was saying, and we were laughing about the movies, and we talk about this all the time. If you are a Christian and you are a talented musician or talented actor or talented filmmaker, by all means, man, make us some great.
Please do.
Make us some great art, music, movies.
We have great Christian acters, and like one of their names is Chris Pratt.
Yeah, and he just makes great movies.
Yeah, and he doesn't do Angel Studios crap.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't.
And when we talk about these 7 things that we're talking, it sounds a lot like a little bit of Hitlerish.
Yeah.
We need to take over the educational
Yeah,
institutions.
man. It just throws up. You
Put
should
'em
never.
down.
You should never be scared of an education. As a matter of fact, I'll challenge all of you Christians. You should be reading about the people you disagree with. You should be reading about what they believe.
It's very helpful.
Well, didn't Jesus only hang out with fellow really good Christians?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. A lot of very tight knit, super conservative Christians.
Just only faithful Jews.
Yeah. Yes.
Sticking your fingers in your ear and going la 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 and
I
waiting
know.
for your turn to talk is
And,
not going to fix anything.
would I love some non-liberal influence in institutions of higher education?
Sure.
I would
Yes.
love that.
Absolutely.
And I think there's been some drastic imbalances that actually violate the separation of church and state.
But
I
you
agree.
think we
Because,
should take it by force?
But that's the thing.
Sometimes.
I'm not sure we should do that.
That's right.
I think we should live by my code.
Talk crap, get
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women.
Lamentations of their women. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay, so let's talk just for a second about
Conan?
Yeah, let's do it. About Jesus' comment about render to Caesar.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, render to Caesar what is his.
Yep. And give
yeah.
to the Lord what's the Lord's.
Yeah.
Okay, so Matthew 22, they give him, or no, they ask him, are we obligated to pay taxes?
Yep.
And they thought that they caught him in an impossible situation because if he said yes, then he's given in. And if he says no, then they could use that against him to say this man
Enemy of state.
advocates. And so he gives the most brilliant answer. He says, he says, give me a coin. They give him a coin. He says, whose image
Who
is
dat?
this?
Who
Yes. And whose inscription? And Caesar's, they say. It had a big picture of a salad on there.
And this was in Nevada.
Yeah.
Actually, in this palace, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Uh-huh.
Caesar actually lived.
Yep. And that's what you should never do is run with Caesar. So then he said to them, give back to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's. Now, at face value, we kind of look at that and go, yeah, give Caesar's money to Caesar. I mean, that what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But what they miss is his main point is the coin bears Caesar's image, so give it back to Caesar. But humanity bears God's image, so give to God what belongs to him, what has his inscription on it.
Yeah.
And also what belongs to God.
everything.
Yeah, there's that too. Caesar gets the coin. God gets everything that bears his image,
The people.
which is everything that matters. Yeah.
Yep.
And so what he's saying to them, this is an indictment on them, and I don't even know that they actually got it. He says, you're quibbling about money and who gets what money, and you're not giving yourself to God.
Yeah.
Why don't you try starting there?
Yep.
And I think that could be something for us to go by, because it's like, let's all give ourselves to God and then see what God
And then
does
quit
with
paying
it.
taxes.
Quit paying taxes.
I love it.
But we could probably get stinking rich just by making copper coins and stamp GOD on them.
Well,
And start passing them out and saying, yeah, they're worth $5 a piece.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that it's not going to change anybody's heart.
No, but it'll make us
That's the
rich.
problem,
And we'll
yeah.
look, we can trump it up to make it sound like it's
And
religious.
We can get a jet.
We could get a jet.
That's
I
it.
was just thinking
a
that.
couple jets.
We're on the
Couple.
same wavelength here.
Oh my gosh. And then, when you think about the image of the cross, Jesus could have called how many legions of angels? 12 legions of angels.
All of
Yeah.
them.
A legion is 6,000. So
Yeah.
how many? He could have called 72,000 angels.
Fun fact, though, when the man says he's possessed with legion,
Yeah.
that's how many demons are in him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Fun
That's
fact.
a good point.
Yeah.
Little correlation there.
Yeah.
So, he could have gotten himself an army together.
Sure.
And with his power, that's what Judas wanted him to do.
Yeah.
And could have wiped
And me.
out
Yeah,
Rome
sometimes.
and could have wiped out everything if he wanted to.
I think it was last episode, wasn't it? I said I wish
Yep.
he would have just
Just
vaporized
one.
at least
Yep.
just one of the
It's
guys.
like,
Yeah, just to let them know.
Well, I mean, think about the scripture when the angel rolls away the stone and sits on it.
yeah.
What did the guards do?
Well, the guards ran away.
Shat themselves.
They shat themselves. They fell as dead men.
Yeah, they went William Shatner on us.
Now, could you imagine 6,000 angels showing up at Jesus'
know.
crucifixion?
I know.
Come on, man.
And do they look like the angels that are always telling people, don't be afraid?
That's it.
Yeah, a bunch of eyeballs
Do not
and floating
Yeah, I saw
wheels in the sky.
a Babylon Bee thing. It had Chuck Norris in it right after he died. And he said, "This is Chuck Norris saying, 'Do not fear' to the angels."
That's good. That's good.
So God's kingdom advances, especially in the case of Jesus dying for the world.
Yeah.
Not through coercion
Force.
or power or force, but through self-giving love.
Yep. Sacrifice.
So Christian nationalism wants a triumphant king. The gospel gives us a crucified savior.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about what you like to talk about.
Uh-oh.
The second time Jesus comes.
Oh, yeah, with the blood and the sword
Yes,
and Metallica
exactly.
playing as he comes out of the
That's
For
sky.
whom the bell tolls.
Yeah, lightning bolts. Yeah.
Yeah, because Jesus is going to.
He's coming with the wrath.
Jesus
an
is
American flag on his
Yep.
chariot.
That's exactly.
With the Constitution in one
Lee
hand.
Greenwood is sitting beside him.
Yeah, got that symbol ready to go.
Yeah. He's got a bald eagle on his shoulder.
Stand up.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet Jesus has a mullet.
You might be right.
Yeah.
The Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yes.
mullet. The
He has
fancy
a mullet.
He's
Yeah.
rocking the John Daly look. It's just, again. Okay, so
It is actually, joking aside, this is one of my favorite Jesus images, though.
absolutely.
And I wish it were like in churches more. Like you never see this Jesus.
No, you don't. You don't. And there's also some theological debate on whose blood is on his robe.
Yeah.
Well, people also are just ignorant to what the sword is.
I know.
Yeah, would they actually make a painting of an actual him like barfing his sword out?
It's the opposite of sword swallowing, right?
Yeah, he's got
sword
so
vomiting.
Yeah, it's the word,
It is the word.
It's like, it's crazy. It's,
It
the,
is
it's
the
the
word.
Rhema word.
It absolutely
man.
is.
It's
yes.
the spoken word.
Okay, so let's take a few minutes to kind of go through where Christian nationalism falls down.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so the foundational theological error is reading America into the biblical narrative as if it occupies the role Israel played in the Old Testament.
That's right.
Yeah.
I would say it's really kind of the core problem.
That's what really chaps my cheeks.
Well,
Yeah.
and I tell you what it is for me. It's kind of, we've touched on this in previous episodes, where when you read a biblical story and we make ourselves the
Read yourself
hero.
into it. That's
yeah.
it.
And that is where I feel like we like to do that with America, where we have to be the hero. And I had this conversation. This is not reflection. This is not Peter's views here. This is Logan. I'm not trying to get Peter in trouble here. I was talking to somebody, and I'm not going to go too deep into this, but with the Israel thing. And I was like, I don't think that biblically we have to protect modern day Israel. And they were like, well, but the Bible says it. And I said, you're telling me that the God that created the universe, the God that is so powerful that he could literally do anything, he is reliant on the United States of America to protect another nation. Right. I don't buy it. I think God that can vaporize the planet could protect this country that needs to be protected on his own accord.
Look, I'll tell you a good way to shut that down.
Interesting viewpoint.
Is anytime someone says, the Bible says we're supposed to protect Israel, say where?
Yeah.
Well, it says, I'll bless those who bless you.
And then I go, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's the Abrahamic promise.
Yeah.
And that's where they get it from. So,
yeah.
So here's how this kind of, here's how you arrive at where you arrive. God made a covenant with Israel as his chosen nation. God blesses nations that honor him and judges nations that don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
America was founded on Christian principles as a covenant with God. That's what they say. Therefore, America is in a special covenantal relationship with God. Therefore, America's flourishing depends on maintaining its Christian identity.
Gotcha.
That's how you get there.
It's funny, Peter. It's given our previous Thursday morning studies that we've been going over for a while.
I know.
And I would say, you know what? America could be the new Israel. Is not all the book of the kings of the presidents written in the annals of the kings? Right? It's like, how many times throughout that whole the kings do we see they did wrong inside of the Lord?
Yeah.
And we could all say Israel's a Christian nation,
and you could even
or a godly nation.
Well, you could also kind of say, clearly America has not been honoring God, and so we're going to make America honor God, and thereby honor our covenant.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of the argument. What this argument ignores is that Israel's covenant was specific, historical, and Christological. In other words, it pointed toward
Jesus
as the Messiah.
Yeah.
And it was fulfilled in him. Jesus said, I got a new covenant for you.
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't mean that the old covenant is irrelevant. It just means that everything was leading to the new covenant.
Yeah. I like that Jesus said, it is finished. And then everyone says,
Tetelestai.
But part two. Jesus said, it's finished, but semicolon, let's add this.
Wasn't it right? Tetelestai? Wasn't that the word?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Used to have the wristband I used to wear.
There you go.
You want to drive a Tesla.
You didn't do the tattoo thing?
I don't have the tattoo. Maybe on my butt cheek. I've been thinking about it. Yeah.
There you go. Because every time you sit down, it is finished.
It is finished.
That's good. That's good.
We are being silly. Okay. So
I like it.
The New Testament never transfers Israel's national covenant to any Gentile nation.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
It transfers it to the people who believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Paul specifically mentions this.
Yeah. So the church, the believers, that's the New Testament continuation of God's covenant people. God's covenant people in the New Testament, this is Anita's territory, are multinational, multi-ethnic, and multicultural by design.
Correct.
Revelation 7.
There you go. Yep.
No nation gets to claim the specific covenant promises made to Israel. Galatians 3. Remember that? Mm-hmm. There is neither Jew nor Gentile, slave nor free, male, female. You are all one in Christ Jesus. If you belong to Christ, here it is, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Paul talks directly about this.
The heirs of Abraham's promise are those who belong to Christ, regardless of nationality. America is not in the Bible because it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
It is not the new Israel, nor is any other nation.
Yeah.
Israel
Australia
is Israel.
is not. Yeah.
Isn't Israel just the chosen God of people, like just God's people?
Yeah. It's the nation he formed for himself.
So in the Bible, that's what he's referring to.
They are currently scattered all over the globe.
So it's not the nation that was formed in the, 40s?
47. It is. That is its own nation state that was formed by humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can get into that debate all day long.
Ethnic Jews
so
versus
Peter,
Israeli
should we
Jews.
be defending Israel?
I am very pro-Israel. I think that I think that the land should be preserved.
Yeah.
I think that nobody else should own that space that they occupy right now. But I do also not think, well, I don't think that they should be aggressively trying to procure other land.
I should be a politician. I believe in the sovereignty of Israel. They're their own government. They're their own country. They do what they seems fit. We have an obligation to our country and against tyranny
Yeah.
that affects us.
But we also have a commitment to help nations that are experiencing oppression or attack, and we've done that many times. We're doing that right now, to some degree. But to equate the nation state of Israel right now with the Israel, God's people that is scattered across the globe
that's a leap.
It's not a 1-to-1.
So that's a leap.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave that one there.
Google ethnic Jews versus Jews in Israel.
So then the Christian nationalism also conflates two things that the New Testament carefully distinguishes. There is the kingdom of God, the reign of Christ in human hearts in renewed creation, advancing through witness, service, and the Spirit, and the kingdoms of this world.
Yeah.
Because Jesus talks about these two as being distinct from each other, right? And that is political entities, nation states, governments, which rise and fall, and God is sovereign over them all, not to be equated with God's kingdom.
That's right.
Luke 17, he says, the coming of the kingdom of God is not something that can be observed, nor will people say, here it is, or there it is, because the kingdom of God is in your midst. Speaking of himself, and then ultimately of the kingdom of God is in the Holy Spirit.
Well, this is kind of too, like I think about in previous elections. I mean, I can think of this with almost any president, really, where people are like, generally this is said by somebody who is for the president at the time, but they'll make remarks like, well, God put them there. And I'm always like, well, why? Why would God appoint them? Like, they almost make it like he's an appointed thing. It's like, well, he put them there. But I think in Judges, we talked about in the book of Judges, God allowed them to have bad judges.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't think that every president, I don't think that God's sitting up there like, let me appoint the president here.
No.
Look, man, I can prove to you that it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all just sheep lining up. All right, Chick-fil-A, Christian business, yeah?
Yeah. Sounds like it.
All right. Now, have their prices went up with inflation?
No, they wouldn't do that, Pat.
But if they did that, oh my God, they're basing their prices off the Babylon system.
I know. Yeah. Again. Do I appreciate that the owners of Chick-fil-A enjoy training their people well and treating them nicely? And
I love some. I had Chick-fil-A today.
Yeah,
but show me the receipts. Is the only thing I'm saying. Show me the receipts. Put your money where your mouth is.
And they stick to their values. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
As long as it doesn't take their wallet light.
Well, but
you got to keep the lights on, though.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. A Christian nation, a Christian business. You can have a business that is run by Christians. That's great.
Yep.
But a business in and of itself cannot be a Christian.
That's right.
It's got to be a business. You got to make money. You got to stay in business.
And it's not a shot at Chick-fil-A or anything like that. It's just a point.
Anything.
It's just a point.
But, even a Christian bookstore that deals in Christian books and materials and it's just got Christian oozing out of it.
That's it.
It's still going to do things
Cost money.
It's got bills to pay.
They got to beat out their competitor.
That's right.
Yep.
And so I'm not saying any of that stuff is necessarily bad. It just does not add up.
That's
right.
right.
If I had a Christian bookstore, I might go slip a bag of PCP in some of their books, and then it'll come out and they'll be like, this other Christian store was giving these children drugs.
Yes.
That's exactly.
And I'll be like, come to my bookstore. There are no drugs here.
Do you run a Christian farm?
Well, what classifies it as a Christian farm?
That's what I'm talking about. Do you have Christian beans?
It depends on if you come out there and I'm having trouble with something working and you hear me talking, you might not know.
Now let me flip this. And now can we say that we have business owners who are Christians?
Yeah.
We have farmers who are Christians.
Yeah. Creed is a prime example, Pat. I remember when Creed were really blowing up on the scene, everybody's like, they're a Christian band.
And they said, no, we're a band that happens to be Christian.
Yes. And
the Christian community ridiculed them.
They did.
They crucified them.
No pun intended.
They were like, oh, well, pull them from all the Christian marketing.
So we've wrung that one out. Let's move on. Let's talk about this dominionist thread for a second.
Okay.
So we got the, hold that right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to need a little more. Yeah. Pat don't want any more. He might have to go poo-poo.
That's right. Yeah, I might explode.
It is finished.
2 cups is my limit.
Pat is finished. Yeah. The biblical text that is always cited about this dominionist thread is the one in Genesis 1. God blessed them, said to them, be fruitful, increase in number, fill the earth, and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over every living creature that moves on the ground.
Sure.
Okay, so this is the, yes, it is. Absolutely. Poor humans screwed it all up. But it has, it's to care for and steward the created order, specifically the garden section of the earth, and expand its borders naturally through flourishing and multiplying.
Simple language.
Doesn't say anything about taking political control of cultural institutions.
Yeah.
Dominion is not a mandate for that Christians should rule everything.
There's no crushing your enemies in there.
You know what's really interesting about that, though, Peter?
What's that?
Is like that is temple language when they use that there. But then when God curses the ground, the mission's still the same. It's just going to be harder.
The ground's going to work against you.
And that's what people need to realize today. So the mission's the same. It's just harder for us.
You're building a theology of Christian political conquest on a text about gardening. How about that?
Yeah. Well, it's better to be a warrior in a garden. Than a gardener in war.
Thanks, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. Brings a whole new meaning to go get the hope.
That's right.
All right. So error number 4 is reading the Bible through the flag. And this is a problem. This is the one I probably have the most problem with.
Yeah,
it is putting scripture verses over images of tanks and bombs.
Yeah,
I don't know how you get there.
Yeah,
you know.
Does Lockheed Martin, do they have, Pat, did you ever see like their missiles? Does Lockheed Martin have like Bible verses, John 3:16 on there as they're dropping them in Iran right now?
Man, I was a lonely guy. I didn't get the fancy missiles and all that stuff. I just had 5.56s, man.
Yeah.
He didn't want to get that close anyway.
Yeah.
So here we go with 2 Chronicles. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven. I will forgive their sin and heal their land.
America.
Yeah. My people means Israel. Their land means the land of Israel. This text is spoken by God to Solomon at the dedication of the temple. Doesn't say anything about America, yet we see this verse everywhere.
That's true.
The way we get there is, America is God's chosen nation. So if America will turn and humble itself and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then God will restore us to our worldwide
glory.
providence. Yeah, exactly right. There you go. So where do we stand on this whole Christian nationalist thing?
Well, I mean, it's obvious where I stand on it.
Yeah, I think you made yourself clear.
Yeah.
No, and I would have, like we said, like I said earlier, I very much think that you don't relegate, I guess is the right word I'm thinking of here. You can't mandate's the word. You can't mandate a faith.
Yeah.
And I think if you try that, then it's not actual faith. There has to be, it's the same problem that I have, honestly. I joke about Calvinism. It's the same problem I have about Calvinism. There's no choice element involved. And I believe for it to be true, actual love, belief, faith, it has to have a choice element. You have to be able to choose. And so I think that, and I really do appreciate the stipulations that you started with. I think that was a really good thing because I love my country. Like I do love my country. I actually think that I kind of think it's very pro-American to be almost anti-government. Like I love my country. I'm pretty anti-government.
It's like you don't have to love your government to love your country.
That's right. And I think that you can be a super stout, Bible believing, God fearing, Jesus freak all you want, and you can still fly the American flag and you can be proud of it.
Do it all.
But you can't force somebody to do that, to jump on your faith. And like I said, I still think now, the more I've thought about it too, like we said, what denomination? How are we going to, because there's going to be dictations. If you open that can of worms, it's going to bleed into everything. People would then, the leaders could then be like, Peter, we're going to need to see your sermons before you send them out. And Peter's going to be like, well, I don't finish them until 3:00 in the morning, Saturday night.
That's exactly right.
My whole thing is I'm not saying that anyone's is above failure. Like, you know, when you mess up, it's okay. Like, I know people mess up, but my thing is I've seen veterans do this. Veterans say that this person shouldn't do this person shouldn't do that. I'm not going to get into the political side of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, we fought for the right to do those things, whether we agree with it or right.
Yeah, you don't have to like it.
Yeah, like, but we fought for that. And it's the same thing with Christians. I've seen Christians do the same thing. It's like, well, this is what Jesus would do, and then do this, you know, and treat someone like dog crap. And then it's like, oh, well, you know, it's because Jesus wouldn't stand for that. Well, Jesus stood for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, then they always go to the Jesus, took a whip and turned over the tables at the temple.
Yeah.
And then when I put these two together, it's you know, you have a very opinionated side on both sides, and there's no middle ground, no grace for any other. That's what makes me very nervous, and it makes me very, very cautious when people start speaking that way.
And here's the deal too, because we do bump into Jesus getting violent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, there's Jesus being violent. Jesus, unleashed a series of woes to the Pharisees. You know, it's just Jesus getting right with them and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If Jesus was going to turn over tables, would he turn over tables in the White House or the state capitol, or would he turn over the tables in the churches?
In the churches, for sure. Where do they send the letters?
Jesus would have been flipping the tables on January 6th.
If he was going to get violent with his words or forceful with his words, would he do that against senators or pastors?
And that, and I'm thinking too, all right, Paul's letters, where did they get sent to? Did they get sent to the politicians at the time, or did they go to the churches?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Were there 7 letters to the 7 churches in Revelation?
Yeah. And so, and I think about that. If Christians and churches actually got serious about it, we would probably see the birth of that revival that would change the nation like we would want to see.
If you want to see a Christian nation, start being a nation of Christians.
Well,
be better Christians.
Let's look at it this way. If the covenant promises of Abraham and of Israel are only transferable to people who follow Jesus in the new covenant, then we could take that 2 Chronicles verse and we could say, if my people, who are my people now? Not America.
That's right.
Not Sweden, not Australia. It's if my people, the people who call themselves Christians.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who are called by my name. That's pretty good. Will humble themselves and pray and seek my face.
That's right.
And turn from their wicked ways.
Yeah.
That kind of brings a whole little slant to it.
It does. Yes, it does.
Then I will hear from heaven, and I will heal their land. What is land? It's the land. It's the space that I've given you to occupy.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
I kind of like that.
I do too.
Kind of like flipping that around. And I think that a lot of these things, talking about dominion and talking about all this stuff, if we actually understood that that's kind of God speaking to us as Christians, well, what are we supposed to take dominion over? We're supposed to take dominion over the powers of darkness.
That's right.
Over the devil himself.
Yeah.
That's right.
And how do we do that? By bringing the light.
That's right.
So
where does it start?
It starts right here.
With ourselves.
That's
right.
It starts when the people of God gather.
It does.
And so if we really took this seriously, and instead of, oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Yeah.
I couldn't let Peter get by.
Oh. I'm going to start weeping. I'm going to start weeping.
I knew we weren't getting through this one without this
I'm
playing.
going to punch you right in the ear.
He's going to come in any minute.
Yeah,
Here it comes, Pat.
He's going to be coming in on a white horse.
You can't take that away, Pat. Here you go.
And I'm proud to be an
Oh, I couldn't miss it.
You just took about 6 years off my life.
You know, I auditioned for him one time.
You told me that.
Yeah.
You would have been playing the one same song all the time.
I almost had to play the song every night. For
Every
years.
night.
Yeah.
You know he has
Dodged
to
the bullet there.
he has to contemplate life every night.
Oh, no, he just goes to the mailbox and collects his check.
I was just going to
Every
say,
night.
have y'all seen the interview with Harrison
Man.
Ford? He was like, oh, yeah, this last Indiana Jones movie, they come up with something brilliant. And it's like, oh, so they asked you about the script? He goes, no, the contract.
Yeah.
He's like, I got paid so good. It was great.
I don't care about the script.
Yeah. No, look, guys, love your country and love God.
Yes.
That's great. Like I got American flag flying on the building out here. Got one right there.
Yep.
I love my country, and I laugh. Lee Greenwood. This song's just kind of Lord. It's been so
fluffy.
played.
Yeah, it's fluffy.
It is.
Well, I'll tell you like
I
this
like
right
Jimi
here.
Hendrix's version of the Star Spangled Banner. That's more my speed.
Look,
like
I'll
that.
tell you like this right here. I love my country. I love my church. But if you start talking about Christian nationalism and things like this, and I don't care, it doesn't even have to be Christian nationalism. Any of these things we talked about where the church lost its way, I'm going to ask you, show me the receipts.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, and this is absolutely true historically, the church actually flourishes better when it is not the majority.
That's right.
That
It
was
doesn't have political.
That's right.
That was one of the big things that my old Claude thing was saying. It was like, well, you look at some of these areas where people are being persecuted and Christianity's like booming. Like it's like
China,
growing like
Iran,
crazy. Yeah.
Egypt.
The fastest growing Christian movement is in Iran right now.
Yeah.
Iran. That's how
Iran,
you say it.
not Iran.
No,
Iran.
That's flock of seagulls.
You remember the Three Stooges episode where they're looking at the map and it's like Iran, you ran, we
Yes.
ran, they ran.
Funny.
I love some Three Stooges.
Do you
I do
remember?
too.
Do you remember flock of seagulls?
So for
Oh
sure.
yeah, Iran.
I ran so far away. Gotta get away.
They had some good
Proud to
hairdos.
be an American. Never mind.
You should remix Iran with God Bless America.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be
Yeah,
a good mashup.
Do not call me on that day. I don't want to be a part of that.
Guys,
We could probably do it.
we want to hear your thoughts on this episode. Let us know what do you think about Christian nationalism? Did this change your views? Would you have said prior to this episode that you were a Christian nationalist, and would you still say it now?
And if you do think, tell us your if you disagree with this, tell us your opinion on it and why. And we'll definitely be respectful of it. We'll listen and we'll talk with you about it.
Yep. Oh, I've told him like I have really good friends that are devout or very staunch Christian nationalists, and we're great friends. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we should be trying to do the most good in every area of our life. So yes, so if I'm wherever I work, we want some Jesus in there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but we should be doing that everywhere we go.
Regardless.
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah,
And
regardless.
I love having. I actually have met and have rubbed elbows with many
Lee Greenwood?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, Lee
I
Greenwood.
did. But with many politicians who are Christians, and they're very strong Christians, and they
Yeah.
have a lot of good things to say, and I think that they actually do have a really good influence in their sphere of influence.
Well, and like I say, what better than to actually have legitimately strong Christians than in our political offices, where hopefully they're putting
But
some God in there.
the kingdom of God is not a democracy.
That's right.
Yep.
It's a monarchy.
We don't we don't elect Jesus as our Savior.
Yeah.
Or God as our Father, or any of those things. It is the perfect image of a true monarchy, where you have a powerful and benevolent king who only has the best interests of the subjects in mind.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which has pretty much never happened in human history.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then that's why, because in order to have the true government that God wants, you have to have a perfect king.
Yep.
So we have one.
Yep. Thankfully, we do.
God bless the USA.
God bless the USA. All right, guys. We will catch you next week.
Yes, we will.